Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again with another episode of my FHM Road to Glory. And in today's episode, well, first of all, you'll notice that we're lacking the webcam. I just want to see how the episode goes without it. But in today's episode, we will finish up the first regular season we have had with Espoo United. As you will see here, the transfer deadline is coming up in just a few weeks, or 2 weeks, and the playoffs start March 10th. I'm still not exactly sure where we stand aside from being, in 7th place in the standings at the moment. The one thing I was thinking of, though, because we don't exactly have the money to bring anybody else in. I'm looking for the number. We have $7,790 to bring in for free agents, so that's absolutely nothing. And money available for contract extensions is still incredibly little. While our player budget is $240K, we're currently up to $205. There's basically nothing else we can do with this team aside from potentially calling up players, as we do have a couple of farm teams. Blues A, Blues B, Blues C, Blues Akatima B Espoo, and Blues D. So let's take a look at these teams and see if we can actually call anybody up. I'm going to sort this by ability. And we do have this guy here, 18 years old, under contract to Blua, whatever the hell that is. I imagine the EU is Espoo United, but Blua must be, he's under contract to this team in general, considering I could offer him a contract. And he wants to play college hockey. Right, so we can't sign that guy, whose name I refuse to try and pronounce. The second guy, though... Actually, was this the second guy? It must have been, right? It was. Let's check with this guy. His name is Lenny, so how could we not want to sign him? He has 33 points in 24 games with this team, and I can, in fact, bump him up to Espoo United. So let's do that, please. All right, cool. So we now have this guy on Espoo United. So we should probably go through all of these teams and see who we can actually bump up. The next guy here would be a 2-star right defenseman. Is that any better than what we currently have? And the answer is probably no. As it is, this guy here isn't happy about his current ice time, so he's not going to have been playing to begin with. Of course, we have the maximum number of players on the team right now with 27. Am I allowed to send these guys down? I am. I could send them all the way down to the under 14s. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be allowed. But I could send down some players if necessary. Let's take a look at the strategy here. We'll go to Setup Organization. And is the guy that we just called up in the lineup? I don't believe he is. But we have quite a few players here who aren't currently playing. So I'm thinking maybe if we send down the lowest rated guys and call other players up, and we may, in fact, be able to do that. So let's take a look again here at Blues A, and who we have the rights to. Now, we don't currently have this guy under contract, so we'd have to offer him a contract. Is he willing to accept? He would be. So we could sign this guy if we wanted to. Now, he was 2-star. We do have a 2-star player right here. And he's actually the only other guy we currently have under contract. It's this 2-star defenseman here, Ville Leitinen, who's actually doing fairly well as a defenseman, 32 points in 24 games. I won't be able to call him up right now, or will I? All right, I guess I'm going to be able to, and then I'm going to have to send somebody down. So let's see. Who would we want to send down? That is still Blues A. It is nice to know, or it would have been nice to remember that we had this option earlier. Let's see. It might honestly be for the best to send Hoppinen down instead of Iziguzo. I am going to just botch every name, as you are well aware of at this point. He has a bit more potential, but I should be able to send him down without a concern. I'd rather have him at least playing than just sitting here and doing nothing. So if we look at the strategy again, let's go set up lines. It puts Leitinen into the lineup. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players currently not in the lineup, including 2 defensemen. So I think I'm going to send down, well, actually, everyone's 2.5 star. So maybe leave the 2 defensemen as a healthy scratch, but send down, actually, Hoppenen's in the lineup, and Vixton, the goalie, is in the lineup. So I think despite him being in the lineup, he's actually there as an extra guy. I'm going to send him down to Blues A. And hopefully there's no ramifications from that. As far as long-term options on whether or not we're going to continue with Espoo beyond this season, that really depends on what jobs present themselves at the beginning of the season, or at the end of the season, I should say. So for Blues A, the only other guy we'd really want to sign would be this dude here, but of course he doesn't want to join the team. Although this 2-star goalie here with 4-star potential, and then of course there's this guy who's 16 and has 5-star potential. Good lord. That 2-star goalie, though, might be interesting because Vixton, or Vikeston, is only at 1.5. He's 20 years old, though, so I guess it's worth giving him a chance. So I think we're good. Let's take a look at Blues B. And yeah, 17-year-olds, 16-year-olds. So 16 to 18-year-olds on this team. There isn't going to be anybody we want to sign yet, although signing this goalie for the future could be nice. But we're still going to have time to do that, I would imagine. Blues C, we got 15, 16, and 17-year-olds. And then, of course, the last option here. Last option is a bunch of 14-year-olds and one 15-year-old. He is the leader of the team, clearly. All right, so I think we're good. It's just a matter of maybe sending some people down. Let me double check really quickly. Again, would it be worth signing this guy? Let's take a look at his attributes here. Oscar Autio. Probably butchering that. 926 save percentage. He's actually doing fairly well. We don't have a scouting report on him. But if I were to offer him a deal, he wants to play college. Okay, so we're good. It's just a matter now of getting our best team set up for the remainder of this season. So let's go back to team strategy for a minute. We'll go back to our tactics in general and maybe look at changing things up. Dump and chase, we have 4-star suitability, but that's not exactly what we want. The funnel is 5-star. Early modern's 4-star, ultra conservative. You know what? Yeah, let's change it up to the funnel. It's also a system that we have quite a bit of familiarity with. We don't want to run the neutral zone trap. So right now we'll go with 1-2-2. Zone defense in the 2-3. Do we go 2-3? Fairly forgiving approach that mainly requires some checking skill from the assisting forward. We don't really have a ton of checking players, so maybe sticking with zone defense is the way to go. This one requires our players to kind of actually be able to grind, which we really don't have a ton of skill there from what I can remember. We could take another look at the team. I mean, my goal, without a doubt, is to get into the playoffs. I think we're still in it if it's the top 8, which would make sense for a tournament format. And again, as far as grinding goes, like we have a 12 there, another 12, another 11. I mean, yeah, we're kind of playing like the stereotypical European style. So let's take one more look here. This might be more effort than I've put into setting up the roster in quite a while. As I said, we have a bunch of 2-star guys. Elg Baca, we're going to send him down, I'm thinking. Yeah, let's go ahead and send him down. He is too old. Never mind. Let's sort that out by ability again. What about this guy? Can I send him down? I can. So, Oli, we'll see you later, buddy. And then we have 2 healthy scratch defensemen, although they are higher rated than some of our other defensemen who are currently in the lineup, including Leitinen, who we just called up. So I'm thinking I want to get these 2 guys in the lineup. That would probably be for the best, even though, according to our strategy, they're not the best option. But still, I'm thinking that's going to be for the best. So our 2-star defensemen. Can we send this dude down, whose name I'm not even going to bother butchering? No, we cannot. And we should be able to send Leitinen back down. I'm sure he's not going to be too happy about it. You know what? It was at least worth exploring the option as we tried to optimize our lineup. So ideally, we'd send down 1 forward and 2 defensemen. I don't want to have any healthy scratches because then they're just not going to be happy about the fact that they're sitting here. So actually, let's sort by ability. Is 20 years old is still probably good. Let's see here though. 2-star at 19 years old. Can I send him down? Yes, I can. Oskari Ulmala, whatever the hell your name is, buddy. I am sorry. We will see you later. So I still have 1 forward and potentially 2 defensemen to send down. Actually, does it have a defender in on forward? I suppose it doesn't matter. Let's take a look here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's because Moberg's in there as an extra. All right. So, you know what? It's probably a good thing I didn't have the webcam up for this episode because I've ended up doing more roster management here to start this off than I really expected. So I can send down 2 defensemen and 1 more forward. Although, didn't we just send that guy down? I'm confused. Did I not just send that guy down? What the hell? Let's sort by ability here. He might have to clear waivers. Whoops. Well, there's not much I can do about that then. So you know what? For now, the team's good. Just know I'm going to optimize the team. Like I said, we don't have too much time left this season before we make it towards the playoffs. So if anything happens, I will update you guys. For now, we are in 7th. Let's see if we can find some of that success that we had at the beginning of the season when we started off 9-0-1. It's going to take a little bit of effort. I'd like us to be... I'd probably prefer a top 5 team, just to be safe, but we'll see what happens. Let's move forward. Alright guys, so good news. We have reached the starting date for the playoffs, and as you can see, we have a game scheduled. As I kind of expected, the top 8 teams in the league make the playoffs. We finished as the 6th seed, quite a few points behind the 5th place team, so I'm not sure how successful we will be. We are taking on the 3rd place Hermes Kokkola. Yeah, let's take a look at their team. I suppose some of these names, man, are still a little bit ridiculous. Now, they do have a fairly solid team as far as familiar names. I certainly don't recognize anybody, but, you know, that's all right. We might still be able to pull this off. I mean, our team, as it stands, isn't completely terrible. I suppose if I can actually switch it over to our team. There we go. See, we got a couple of 3-star players. Things are looking not completely terrible, I guess. As far as the scoring went in the regular season, Forsström was our main man with 44 points, Järvinen with 43, and Hershkovits, I think I butchered that still, but he also had 43 points. From there, the secondary scoring dropped off quite heavily with the exception of Lehtinen, all right, defenseman, 31 points in 49 appearances. Not too shabby. But let's take a look. Goaltending might be the key factor here. And the problem is Norja still finished with an 8.97. Vixton with a 9.17. So I'm hoping our starting goaltender can kind of figure things out here as we get ready. He is 2.5 star compared to Vixton's 1.5 star. So he is definitely the better goaltender. But the veteran at 33 years old has struggled a bit this season. We'll see what he can do for us in this series. Now, the problem is day-to-day simming, as you'll find out here, although we do have a healthy player. How do you like that? Let's just go ahead and set up the lines there. Järvinen and Forsström are still on the same line. That is all that matters to me. I mean, I feel like the team's pretty well set up. The 4th line has a couple 2 out of 3s as far as players and how well they are suited for their current role, but I feel like that's relatively fine for what we're looking to do. The one concern I have is how quickly a day-to-day sim will go with every league active and the recording software going in the background. The answer is probably not all that fast. Actually, you know what? That did go relatively quickly. I'm shocked. I expected that to take a whole lot longer. So let's get this show on the road, shall we? It's a best of 7 in the first round. We are on the road against Hermes. Was that how it was pronounced? Hermes Coca-Cola. Yeah, Hermes Coca-Cola. As far as the coach advantage, we actually have that coaching advantage. Let's see if we can make the most of it. Now, unfortunately, we can't sim period to period. So the easier thing to do is just hit the sim game option here. And what will happen is up here in the top left, you'll see whether or not we won or lost. And then we'll be able to take a look at a few more stats. As far as the star players go, Forstrom's our main man. That Vertanen guy is theirs. Their goaltender is coming into the playoffs with a pretty damn good run of form. They also have 2 players that are currently out injured. Team rankings-wise, as far as points, of course, they finished 3rd. We were 7th in goal scoring. They were 4th. Power play goals, they had the number 1 power play, apparently, or at least the most effective power play. And their defense was a tad bit better, but it looks like a fairly even matchup. They had the number 1 penalty kill in the league, though, and the 2nd best power play. It could be a bit of trouble, but let's go ahead and sim this first game against Hermes. They sound like a Brazilian team, and we lost 4-3 in overtime. Not a tremendous start. A 2-point night for Toivonen, but it simply wasn't enough. We outshot them 40-27. No doubt that their goaltender stole this game for them. That is a fairly disappointing loss. I got to admit, we were down 1-0 at the end of the first. At the end of the second period, it was a 2-1 lead for them. Third period, we battled back. Kalainen and Toivonen with the goals. Hovainen made it 3-3, and then in overtime, Ville Rajala. This guy scored, unfortunately. And we have lost the first game of this series. But I gotta admit, I'm still happy at the very least that we made the playoffs. I was really starting to think that we wouldn't. I mean, technically, we finished 2 games under 500, if you factor in, of course, the losses and the overtime losses. So we'll keep trucking along here now, won't we? The one thing we will have to keep an eye out on, though, is the available jobs tab once the season comes to a close. And there's a good chance the season is going to come to a close sooner rather than later. I don't know if we have what it takes to get out of the first round here. Particularly with the goaltending. I think if we lose this game, we're going to go to Viksten, whatever, 4 games, 3 and 4. I am happy, though, it's a best of 7. I wasn't sure if it'd be a best of 7 or a best of 5. So we will at least have the opportunity to make some adjustments if we have to. So it's game 2 against Hermes Franca Coca-Cola. Or, yeah, you know what? That's what it is. That's what it is. Norja had a very rough game. Matila had a very strong game. Let's see what happens. Game 2 of this series, and it's a 6-0 loss. Oh my God. 6 goals given up by Norja. Matila with the shutouts. He was the first star of the game as well. We were outshot 33-28. Needless to say, our goaltending is not getting it done. That was an embarrassment. An absolute embarrassment. We are down 2-0 in this series. Like I said, I have a feeling it's not going to be long before we discover that, yeah, we're going to be moving on from Espoo United. The one thing I'm worried about, though, is we don't know if it would necessarily be a promotion. I would probably consider ending up in, say, the EIHL, for example, in the UK. I would probably consider that a demotion as compared to, say, taking a job with the AHL. That might even be too big of heights. I don't know. I mean, promotion-wise, I don't know if I'm thinking, like, KHL already. I don't know if that's possible. Maybe a job in the Swiss League would be possible. I'm not sure. Our journey, our destiny here is very much undecided. As far as what we're going to do here, though, let's see what fits this team. I mean, the funnel is still the best way for us to go about this. It's the perfect mix of allowing our players to actually make this happen. Although, it does require good puck handling skills from forwards strong enough to muscle through obstructions. I don't know if that's going to work. Plus, we do have defensemen who are a bit capable of making it happen. We could look to use the torpedo attack and actually have our defensemen, make the passes to kind of make the offense go. Let's see. That might actually be the best way to go about this. I'm not too impressed with the funnel system anymore. The early modern approach, freeform offense, while effective if executed by particularly talented forwards. And actually, early modern might be the best way to go, which is surprising. If you just read the full description there, that might be a good way to go. Puck controls at 3-star. You know what? We got nothing to lose. Let's try the early modern approach. Why not? And then defensively, we obviously need to change this up a little bit. So either collapsing to the net, neutral zone trap. Maybe we'll try the 2-3. Yeah, I'm thinking we'll try the 2-3. So we are completely changing up our tactics here. Not to mention Viksten will get to play. The top lines now are Vinen, Hershkovitz, and Forsstrom. And we can kind of read the rest there on your own time, eh? So that's all right. Oh, it's funny that the early modern approach... Actually, no. If we did the torpedo attack, we'd see a more offensive setup from our defensemen here. They're still set up to be more of a two-way or stay-at-home style. Regardless, let's move forward. I don't know if we have to drag this out for too long. It's not looking too good. We knew it would be quite rough to make this, to make this series competitive in any way. But I suppose we have an outside chance at actually making that happen. We shall see. Moberg is not at 100%, so it's time for Game 3. We still have the coaching advantage for what that's worth. But it's saying Norja's in, which I don't appreciate. The tactics put Norja back in. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit play game on this one. That will bring you to the screen. Unfortunately, it's not like Football Manager, where there's kind of like the little gameplay kind of deal. Unfortunately, it's not to that level. But what we are going to do is put in Viksten. So, yeah, sorry, Norja, you are not getting the start. Again, we can't sim period by period from what I can tell. I've checked this quite a few times. I'm just double-checking for the hell of it. So we are going to sim to the end of this game. Game 3, can we bounce back? Yes, we can. 4-3 win, 29 shots apiece. But we're walking away with the 4-3 victory. There you go. The home team continues the winning way. Is Nico Viksten, or Vikstein, who the hell knows. 26 saves on 29 shots. We were able to get to Matila. The goal scorers showed up for this game. Toivonen with a 3-assist night. Forsstrom with a 2-goal game. And we're back in business. Not to mention, I don't know if you noticed the attendance number. We're averaging an extra 1,000 fans in the building as compared to them. That's right. Espoo. We are more popular than you are, even though we're probably going to lose in the series. But hey, we won a game. Things are looking up. Maybe. Possibly. Only one series. This series right here has a 3-0 series lead. Every other series currently sees a 2-1 series lead. Simming forward, simming forward. I got nothing else to say and nothing else to do but, try to pass the time here. I mean, I suppose I could jump cut. This is how long I expected it to take, actually. How are you? Are you doing well? We're approaching the new year. Hooray. 2018 is going to be great. Moberg's back. Hooray. Hooray. Let's go set up organization, and he is on our top pairing, so that is one hell of a player to get back. He's going to be our main mobile defenseman. All right. It's time for game 4. No, it's not. Leave game. Hold on. No. Strategy. Viksten gets to play. Now it's time. My ear just like popped. Holy shit. It's like I was on a plane or something. I've never even been on a plane. Maybe like I had been swimming? That was weird. Anyway, Now it's time for game 4. It put Norja back in. Goddamn you, coach. He's been awful, so we'll go to play game again. We'll just do it this way. It's fine. Let me go to strategy, to special. Vexton comes in. I'm gonna try to pronounce his name as many different ways as I possibly can. It is time for game 4. Can we tie this series up, or will we be facing a 3-1 series deficit? And no, we will not. It's a 5-4 victory. Again, another really close game, 28 shots to 25 in our favor. The home team has yet to lose in this series. It is tied up at 2 victories apiece. Kilainen with a 4-point night. Ridiculous. Toivonen with a 2-point night. Curie with a 4-point night for, I almost wanted to call them the Hershey Bears, Hermes Franca Coca-Cola. Yeah. Anyway, we have a tie series on our hands. Imagine that. You know, the best part is some people think that I really draw out the playoff series in NHL. Not quite. This is drawn out at its finest. Every other series is tied. Rovaniemi has a 3-1 series lead. That sounds more like a name than a hockey team, doesn't it? At least to me, I guess. I cannot believe this series is tied. Maybe, just maybe, we can pull off the miracle and we'll actually be able to take a promotion. Maybe we'll go straight up to the, well, hell, if we win this, we're going to flat out be in Liga next year, which would be great. Maybe. I don't know. We'll probably get killed and get relegated again. But if I can lead this team to the first tier, you bet your ass we're going to get, that we are going to get a better job. So we're going to go ahead and go to play game. Of course, we are back in wherever the hell this team's from. Probably Hermes. I know I was saying Hermes as if it was a Futurama character. Hermes. Let's put in our backup goalie in again, although he's cold at the moment, apparently. But that's okay. He's gotten us 2 wins so far. This series is now a best of 3 at this point. The home team has yet to lose. Can we change that here in Game 5? Yes, we can. 3 straight wins for Espoo United. 3 straight 1-goal differentials in the victories. 4-3 finals, what I'm trying to say. Nico Vixton is getting the job done right now. The change in offensive strategy is paying off. After being down 2-0 in this series, we have a 3-2 series lead. Santala with a 2-point night. Vestermark with a 2-point night as well. And we are 1 win away from moving on in the postseason. Imagine that. Imagine that. A first-round victory for this team. Wouldn't have thought it to be possible. Of course, every other series, actually every series, there features a 3-2 series lead. We're definitely rooting not for SPK. We're rooting for the other team there. SPK won the equivalent of the President's Trophy, whatever that would be. So we're rooting for them to fail, so we don't have to ultimately go through them if we may get past this first round matchup. I'm not going to get ahead of myself because we still need to win another game. It's a 3-2 series lead. Let's see what we can do. And we'll treat it the same way. Although we have an injured player. Not quite sure who that is. And it's Forstrom. We're screwed. Well, our best offensive player is currently injured. I didn't see what happened to him. He is flat out on the injury list. Day-to-day with a bruised back. Not the ideal time for that. So while we have a chance to end this series and actually put in Vixton straight up, which is nice. While we have a chance to end this series, we really need Toivonen to step up. We need Järvinen to step up. We'll see if we can get the job done. It is Game 6 on home ice. Can we end this series right here and right now? Yes, we can. Espoo United have fought back from really a horrific second episode with the team. First episode went so incredibly well. Last episode, we really struggled. This time, though, we've been able to turn it around, and now we have a postseason victory over Hermes Coca-Cola, which is tremendous. 5-3 in Game 6. 36 shots to 28 in our favor. Not to mention the change in goaltending. worked out quite well. Which I suppose leads us to the question of what do we do in our second round matchup? Do we treat this like a Corey Crawford, Scott Darling situation, where it's like, okay, Scott Darling lead us to victory, and then Corey Crawford starts the very next series. Two-toe advanced, and then 2 other series were not quite done. I'm going to be intrigued to see who we have to play. If we have to play the number 1 seed, we're probably not going to have to worry about who the goalie is. We'll probably get eliminated no matter what. But you know what? For now, optimism, happiness, sunshine, and rainbows. We have a victory. And we did it without Juuso Forsström, which is rather incredible. Take a look at the standings. Again, Roki and Lecky are tied. SPK and Kf are tied. We shall see what happens. Let's continue. We need the results of those 2 Game 7s before we know what's going to happen in the next round of the playoffs. So let's go ahead and find out, shall we? SPK and Rovaniemi have advanced. So there you go. I believe the 2, they had home ice advantage. So the 2 higher rated teams have both advanced. The good thing is, because the seeding in this game is kind of fucked, the number 1 and number 2 seed play each other. Not in this game, but in this league, I should say. You would think that we would have to play SPK as the lower rated seed, and that Tuto would play Roki. That is not the case. So it's 1 seed against 2 seed, and then the 4 seed against us in the form of the 6 seed. We might have a shot to make it over here and make this happen. I don't know. We'll have to see what we're up against when it comes to Roki. Now, the thing is, though, I am going to wait until the next episode to find out what happens. That's right. But in that next episode, what will happen is this. We will sim through that round of the playoffs. If we make it, we'll sim the championship, and then at the end of the next episode, we will find out whether or not we are moving on. I think we'll be able to sim that far to find out whether or not moving on to greener pastures is indeed an option. So yeah, there you go. We made the playoffs and we won in the first round. Who saw that coming? Not me. But I'm glad it happened. I hope you feel the same way. If you enjoyed the episode, you know what you got to do to support the video and the channel and all that fun stuff. Links are in the description to my Twitter and Twitch. This game is still 50% off until January 4th. I do believe $20 US. Check it out if you have not already. I cannot recommend it enough. Until next time, guys, have a good one. Take it easy. I'll catch you next time. Yeah. Espoo.